What's good, y'all? It's your boy Yatta.
It's your boy Sam.
We got another episode of the Envelope Pushers. You want to
Yes,
tell me what
sir.
an envelope pusher is?
I got you. All right, an envelope pusher or to push the envelope is to expand on, exceed, or test the limits of the established norm or standard.
Bad.
Yes,
We got a
sir.
new episode today. You feel me?
Yes, sir. A day
Also,
late. Look, a day late. That's my B.
right.
That's my B. Y'all can blame it on me. A day late. But look, I'm professional with it now. I got the headphones
This
on.
man finally
You
remembered his
know,
headphones, bro.
finally remembered the headphones from mom's spot, man. So it's a little bit more professional, a little bit more clean. I can hear everything now. So
He trying to be like me. You feel me?
exactly, I can hear everything now. So don't be talking shit, okay? Just because we a day late, man. It's hard to stay consistent, work and be in school, but
Facts.
we here today, blessed.
Bad. Also today, I had to have ancient ore jewelry on, especially for our topic, right? See, God body, right?
Yes,
Peace
sir.
to all the gods on earth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also,
Yes, sir.
if you know today's mathematics, put that in the comments. If you know today's mathematics,
put it in there, man. Put me on some game, man.
And I got the woo wear on, right?
Oh yeah, clean,
yeah,
super clean.
Yeah. And so today's topic, right? We're gonna talk about what happened to hip hop, right? Oof. What happened, Sam Lee? What happened?
Hey man, I don't know, man. Hey, we some young guns too. Hey, and me and Kenyatta, we listen to the same music, damn near, but I still listen to that, trap music, some of that belligerent music.
Yeah, every once in a while,
Yeah, every once in a while, probably, more than I should, but I need that workout, and I need that energy when I'm in there.
I need that Benny the Butcher every once in a while. You know
exactly,
what I'm saying?
that Benny the Butcher,
legend,
Future, Meek. But yeah, man. For me, seeing where hip hop is at, seeing it from the past, because we can only go back and listen to the music. We can't necessarily experience the music how it was back then, but from what I have listened to in the past, especially with hip hop, definitely, talking about the right messages, talking about our community in a powerful and impactful way. Not to say there wasn't belligerent music, but we had rappers like KRS-One that I listened to.
Oh, big facts. KRS-One a GOAT.
Yeah. Kenyatta got on the Wu-Tang. They touched on certain topics, even the names, and Kenyatta could get more in that in depth with the history for real. Because
I love Wu-Tang, man.
Yeah, this is where Kenyatta thrives at.
For real. I got all kinds of Wu wear, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been listening to Wu-Tang since I was a kid. Like, my dad was listening to Wu-Tang. So in the car, like, I'd be in third grade knowing about Wu-Tang, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I grew up on, man. Tribe Called Quest, Public Enemy. That's what I grew up on.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say shit. You can break down the history for him to let them know, because I know this your expertise, your background,
Wu-Tang, man. Let me tell you about Wu-Tang, right? So from Staten Island, you feel me? And Wu-Tang is so great because, like, that is, like, I mean, people want to debate it, but that's the best hip-hop group of all time. You know what I'm saying? All the members, right, went, like, platinum. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all their solo stuff was, like, good, even after 36 Chambers. Like, Method Man, he did a bunch of movies now, by the way. I know y'all see Method Man everywhere, but Raekwon, Ghostface, RZA, Jizza, Master Killer, You God, rest in peace to Old Dirty Bastard. But all of them did their thing, man.
Yeah, make sure y'all looking up these names too, man. Even if y'all not interested in New York style hip hop, man, still go listen to that, because a lot of it got messages, and some of your favorite rappers get a lot of influence from people like Wu-Tang and other people in that era or in the past era. So
yeah. Oh, facts. Even like the stuff they incorporated, like they was some of the first like hip hop to really make, like, them old kung fu flicks, right? Like that stuff was cool. They was putting chess, like RZA and Jizza love playing chess, right? That was like their thing. We might even do a whole episode on that. I love chess.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say shit.
Yeah.
Y'all put me up onto some game. It was like a whole chess event. I wanted for you to tell them about the little chess event that you had sent me.
On yeah, IG. They had a thing called Hip Hop Chess. You know what I'm saying? Bishop Chronicles put it together. Hip Hop Chess Federation. And yeah, they basically just had like a lot of rappers just playing chess. You know, it was like a tournament. And I heard RZA say in the interview he wants to do like a whole red carpet chess tournament. Like he
Yeah.
want to like have like celebrities and like, bro, like by the time that happens, like I need to be there. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
we gotta be there.
I got to get into that one for real.
Hmm. For sure. But so back to kind of like the origins of it. You know, when we have like when we talk about like Wu Tang, Public Enemy, even before that, right? Like even before them was Grandmaster Flash, DJ Cool Herc, you know, Zulu Nation was running around doing their thing. But there is definitely a difference between what was going on then and like the stuff we listen to now, you know, because a lot of the hip hop was like really expressing our culture. You feel me?
Thanks.
Like, and that's why we gravitated towards it so much was because like we were able to relate to it. You know, like they was talking about the thing, and they even do this today in hip hop, but it's just a little different. But they was talking about the things going on in the community. You know what I'm saying? And they was doing a
Yeah.
lot of teaching, right? Like KRS-One, right? Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everything. You know what I'm saying? Like he was dropping knowledge. Like we learned about our history, right? We was rocking red, black, and green. Like it was cool, right? It was cool to have a black fist on your neck.
And please know what them colors is, the red, black, and green. Don't
Right?
just say we naming random colors. Please know what those colors are as well. Please do your research. That's gonna
Oh,
be probably
facts.
our slogan for this podcast is do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Just so
We
that
gonna
y'all
we gonna
know.
be y'all gonna be hip hop historians after this episode, okay?
Hey, hey, but all right, so this episode is about hip hop, man, and what it's about, man. But the age old argument, the old head versus the new heads, and really to me, that argument, that the old heads have, that y'all only push this certain amount of this type of message. Look at XYZ rapper, and then they try to compare them to a Biggie or just a Tupac.
Tupac.
They try to compare it to one of these type people, not knowing how much I feel like not knowing how much hip hop has grown as a culture and how much influence we now have as a culture, and how hip hop damn near influences everything.
Oh
Shit,
yeah, like the world. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like they listen to the music everywhere. You
exactly. And
feel
I
me?
just seen a goddamn a Burger King commercial talking about real G's moving silence, like
Really?
sourdough bread, and they had the little Lil Wayne 6 foot 7 foot song on there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, right. It was
Hey,
so
that's
crazy
that's
because
a throwback.
all me and my friends looked up like, why is Burger King using a Lil Wayne song to promote a sourdough bread sandwich? Like, these are the extent that these companies are going to. So, you know, when we ask, what happened to hip hop, it's not necessarily a bad thing what happened to hip hop. I feel like because we still had those leaders in hip hop, but there is a significant change. And I think, at the beginning, it was a way for us to express ourselves and show off our culture for sure. And then,
Hmm.
certain things started getting added into there. So we see it move into the 80s. And what was popping in the 80s? We know Reagan hit. We know,
Right.
yeah,
Crack was
we know
crazy.
that era hit for them boys to take it to the next level. Um, and so I think I heard an argument from somebody. It was like the the way how hip hop moved, it was the pushers or the drug dealers started becoming the addicts. Um, what you think about
Yeah.
that?
You said the drug dealers started becoming the addicts like when
Yeah,
crack was around. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, a lot, a
Or
lot,
I'm
a
just
lot of.
saying, like, how hip hop rapper or hip hop artists and rappers,
Oh,
they would,
like today, you mean, or back
yeah,
then?
yeah. I'm
Oh,
talking
like
about
today.
back then, how back then, they were talking about, okay, I'm selling this, I'm selling that. Not everybody, but it was a good
Yeah.
a good majority of them talking about, I'm selling this, I'm selling that. Now today, it's, I'm taking
Oh,
this,
I'm
I'm
I'm I'm
popping
I'm
that,
popping it.
and
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So that's what I want you, like. How do you feel about that?
yeah. I hear that a lot. Like, there's a lot of like promoting drugs. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
being a dope fiend has never been cool.
never,
You know what I'm saying?
never,
But
never, never.
now it's like cool to be a dope fiend. Now it's cool to pop pills. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's like, yeah, that's just weird to me. And like a lot of these rappers too, like we got to realize like a lot of them are not telling the full truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're saying things in their music that they probably wouldn't go out and do themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and other people are reacting to it and getting locked up for those same things.
And
You
a
know what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
times, I don't think people can really separate, entertainment from reality. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing that this is gonna be another topic way off, but the
Yeah.
whole perception of reality and what technology has done, like it's crazy because people can't even determine what's real and what's fake between entertainers. And hip hop is literally the only genre where if you say something, you have to be about it. Like there's no if, ands, or buts. So like it goes back to that question, what happened to hip hop? Like it went from a form to just expressing ourselves, and what we wanted to do is now whatever you rap about, you have to live about. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you saying you got 20 M's in the bank, you need to show us a Bentley, a Rolls Royce. You need to show us a chain with all VVS diamonds in it. You need to have a gun on you, all types of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you rapping about that, you have to be about that. And so I think that
Yeah.
also goes into that, quote unquote drug culture that we're in right now as a society and in hip hop. Because if you rapping about those drugs, and if society, we heavily doped up right now. Opioids is definitely a problem right now in the United
Huge
States.
problem.
Huge problem, especially in the Midwest. But
For sure. And a lot of people don't understand, like a lot of that, like when you popping pills, that's what that is. That's heroin in a pill.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? People don't realize what that really is. But I'm sure if you saw somebody shooting up, you'd probably wouldn't want to do that, right? But it's kind of like the same thing,
facts. I was
same
going
kind of feel.
I was gonna
But
say I was gonna
mhm.
say too, like necessarily you could kind of give them a rundown of what you kind of listen to like on your daily basis. I know we hit on Wu-Tang and we hit a couple
Oh, for sure.
prominent names that talk to our community early on, but like who do you kind of listen to now?
Um, I mean, like for the older generation, like I love Wu Tang. Anybody that knows me knows I love Wu Tang, right? Almost every Wednesday, I'm posting like a RZA quote. You feel me? Because it's Wu Wednesday. But also I love like Public Enemy, right? I love what like Chuck D and Flavor Flav was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on a Tribe Called Quest, right? Q-Tip, right? Rest in peace of Fight Dog, and De La Soul. I know you listen to De La
Yeah, shout
Soul.
out to De La Soul, man.
Even on the other side of it, right? That kind of music is a lot different than, for example, Onyx, right? Onyx was hard too, and they would probably
Mm-hmm.
fit more in with what's being talked about today. But I listen to Onyx, KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian. I
Mm-hmm.
know y'all know Lord Jamar, right? He's kind of getting more of a name now. He kind of got it off Vlad, you feel me? But he was real popular from Brand Nubian. And when it comes to today, like I love Benny the Butcher.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, Wu-Tang dropped the album like a couple years ago. They ain't really dropping stuff now, but yeah, pretty much like Griselda, Benny the Butcher is like what I listen to a lot now.
yeah. I was going
Things of that
so
nature.
with those group of artists that you listen to from our culture, why don't you kind of gravitate towards the other side of that, the other type of music, what some would call, probably gangster music or trap music.
Yeah.
Why kind of stray from there? I mean, being a butcher and Griselda, they
Yeah,
kind
they
of
they kind of
in
they
that
kind of go
area, but that's old,
cocaine rap.
yeah, that's cocaine rap. So, why do you kind of stay away from, the trap music or some of our top artists that we have today?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do listen to it every once in a while. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if I'm in the car and stuff, because some of it sounds catchy, but that's the problem with me is the beat is hard, but what are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I listen to one song, they talking about females, money, and cars. Next song, females, money, and cars, popping pills. Next song, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's the same kind of content, but
Yeah.
you could listen to Public Enemy and one song they talking about like the follower of Farrakhan. Don't tell me that you
Mm-hmm.
understand until you hear the man. You know what I'm saying? When I
Mm-hmm.
started hearing stuff like that as a kid, right? Or they have like little edits, and they talk about our culture, it just stuck with me more. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
why I still listen to them now. Like all them same songs, I probably listen to them over like hundreds of times by now. You know what I mean? But it's just so
Yeah.
like the lyrics are so empowering, And I also want to say too, the style of hip hop back then was more about lyricism, I believe, than it is now. Because you'll talk to some people and like, okay, I was in the car with my homies one time and I play a song and they were like, bro, what is this? I don't want to think right now. Like this song is making me think. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't want to think? Like what? Like
Yeah.
what does this come to? You know what I'm saying? Like they literally just want to hear things that make them, I guess, feel
Get
good, but
rocked to sleep.
right, but they don't want to be able to like, I don't know. It kind of just in this information age, right? We kind of got these Google brains too, where we don't really want to be thinking, do too much thinking, do too much work. But yeah, that's what I would say. Why I gravitate towards them is just being a lyricist, right? That's something that's important to like the foundations of hip hop too. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
DJing, b-boying was big too. Not so much no
B-boy.
more, but
Yeah. Graffiti.
and being a yeah, right, and being a lyricist, right? Like if you wasn't a lyricist, you wouldn't be able to survive when hip hop was being started. You know, but now you can like, I mean, I guess they call it mumble rap, you know what I'm saying? But you can kind of just say a bunch of nothing and it could blow up, right?
Facts. That's facts. Yeah.
What about you?
I would say me, I'm on the other side, man. You know,
On the other side?
I'm on the other side, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in Atlanta, man, so you know, a lot of Schoolie heavy in my playlist currently. I'm not sure if you know who Schoolie is. He's an Atlanta local rapper, man. He ain't blow up too much, but a lot of Young Thug, a lot of Future.
What about Outkast? I know you like Outkast.
Not too much Outkast on my playlist.
For real?
Not too much Outkast. Grew up heavily on Lil Wayne, all the Carters, you know, Carter 3 specifically. And then one of my favorite artists is Meek Mill.
Yeah, I like
another artist. And then the list can go on. I like Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby, heating it up in the industry right now. But I think for like more conscious rap for me is probably J. Cole and Kendrick. You can put those number 1, number 2. Big Sean, also a great lyricist. And some people not gonna like this take, but I actually fuck with Wale. Also, he's a great.
I like some of his songs.
Yeah, he's a good lyricist too, man. I actually fuck with Wale. So that's kind of my side, and you know, I listen to those people more so for a feeling. So not that I gotta think, that's what your friend said, but more so a feeling. And I think that's what kind of hip hop kind of switched to. It was more of a feeling. So now we hear more of the melodies from rappers like a Young Thug or a YNW Melly who can.
Yeah, it's real melodic right now.
Yeah, it's real melodic. And it kind of gets a little scary because I was even talking with my brother the other day, and I remember I seen a YNW Melly picture. And I don't know if you know who YNW Melly is, but he's a rapper who got locked up for killing somebody or his friend. But literally we listened to him sing and harmonize about murder.
He got murder on my mind.
And it was real, and it was a hit song, and come to find out it's something that, you know, he did. But to get off of that, I know, you know, for me personally, I listen to a lot of motivational rap as well. So that's why I think one of my favorite rappers is Meek Mill, because a lot of time I felt like with older hip hop, yes, they would be speaking to our community, but as a young gun, especially now, a lot of young people aren't trying to hear, you know, what's going on with our community, even though it is very important to need to know that information and to get that information into our brains to keep pushing out. But right now, you know, it's let's have fun, let's go party, let's go drink. I ain't trying to think about nothing too depressing, because when you start gaining more knowledge, it start getting a little bit more like, okay, I see the inequalities that's going around in the US and, you know, around the world and what's been happening in the past. So I do take in the fact that, but then also the rappers that I named also push that content in some of their songs. It's not in every song, but you'll get a Lil Baby rapping about police brutality. You'll get, you know, a Kendrick Lamar had a whole album basically called Pimp a Butterfly. If y'all haven't listened to it, you know, a lot of people.
That's kind of like a classic now.
Yeah. A lot of people hated on it, but it was probably one of the most impactful and talked directly to us and telling us basically that we are Israelites. He said it in multiple songs in that album, which was amazing.
He
And
rock
also
with the
had
Hebrew.
Tupac in there, kind of bringing the old generation with the new generation of hip hop. But you'll get these bits and pieces from these artists that talk about it. I even heard a Migos song, a Quavo song from the Quavo, who's from the Migos,
Yep.
saying fuck 12, and his whole song, it was basically a spin off the um NWA's
Oh
fuck the
fuck yeah,
police.
yeah, fuck the police. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the police. And so his was fuck 12, and he's going on about it. And I think he had a Malcolm X insert before the song. And
Yeah, I
he
remember that he did.
had a Malcolm
Kodak
X.
Kodak has a song called Malcolm X too. Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like hip hop today is, a lot of this, they have to figure out, a lot of rappers and artists have to figure out how to get the message to our people. And I feel like, a lot of stuff and a lot of events that's been going on, it's made it easier for them to be more outright with it, where you can have a song on a mixtape called Fuck 12, or,
Yeah.
You can have different various artists talking about struggles that all of us face. Even the past two episodes, we talked about Jay-Z, who is still, he's rapping on these songs and giving a little bit of game out to us. And he's been doing that, but a lot of people just haven't noticed it. But now it's more blatant
Oh
and
yeah, for a long
outright.
time, right?
Yeah,
All the 5% references. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's
So yeah,
more
he's big on
advocacy.
that.
Yeah, we see rappers like bigger rappers like Rick Ross talking about, social injustice, and he currently on his Instagram and social media, he's promoting black businesses. He's promoting entrepreneurship, period. But a lot of black businesses are on there that he's promoting.
Yeah, and he owns like a bunch of wing stops. Like,
Yeah.
and he has a book, right? My homie told me he has the book. He said it was really good. And yeah, he has like a bunch of like business ventures. Like when I had a beard, right? I was looking for like beard products, and he has some beard products too. So yeah,
Yeah.
he has a lot of stuff.
See, and that's another reason why I like listening to these rappers, because one, and I don't want to shit on them, or, because I know these rappers are coming from the same background I came from, and so they just trying to find a way out. So I don't even blame like what happened to hip hop on the artists necessarily. And this is a point that we wrote down in pre-production or talked about,
Yep.
but how the people who own these labels and have generated money off our talents are curating what artists bring to the table. So essentially, if these label heads are only saying, or label heads are saying, hey, we don't want to hear that conscious stuff. We don't want to hear about black empowerment. That's not going to sell. This is what's going to sell. This right here. These drugs are going to sell. This gun violence is going to sell. You talking about women is going to sell. And that's what we want to hear. Even if it's degrading your people to nothing, you calling your people broke every day. This is what's going to sell, and this is what you need to push. And so I feel like artists had to adapt to that. And it's very clear that they had to adapt to that, because all the artists that we named from before to now, labels weren't so much in people's face or, in people's backs, controlling people. Now they got full control. They know everything.
Yeah,
What you
facts.
think about that?
I
What
mean,
you think about that?
also a good point to do that too, right? You got to realize who owns these labels and who owns these radios, and it's not black people, right?
Yeah.
It's white people, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what is so appealing to a white person about hearing black people talk about degrading their women and killing each other, popping drugs? Like, no, we gotta understand what's really going on, right? And that brings me back to the point when hip hop first started, and which I mean, this is something like if I could go back in time, this is something I changed because like honestly, when the music first started, like we really were expressing our culture, and there's obviously a distinct difference. But look at Public Enemy. Like something like Public Enemy would probably never be popular today, but they had Dr. Khalid Muhammad, right, sampling, and they were like the top at one time. You know what I'm saying? They had the S1Ws, right? They had security. They had like, and it was conscious. You know what I'm saying? And people liked it, but we didn't really take ownership of like the radio stations, right? We didn't start none. Even things like the turntables and the speakers and the equipment, we didn't even make none of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we were the product and we let other people sell us, but like without us, they couldn't have, hip hop wouldn't have been successful because we created it. You know what I mean? So that's really something I changed. But yeah, so
but
what
let's
was
talk
I getting to my
about.
point? Oh yeah, I want to add one more point too, because I started to touch on Public Enemy, right?
That.
And somebody that really exposed a lot of this was Professor Griff. Now I'm sure you saw when Nick Cannon got canceled or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was because his interview with Professor Griff. And if it's on YouTube or any platform, I suggest you watch it because see, he was the Minister of Information for Public Enemy. He was really close with like the Nation of Islam, the minister, and he used to walk around with like a
Minister
briefcase.
Farrakhan, make sure you let folks
Yeah.
know, say it so they know, because also do your research. These
Oh,
names that
facts.
we're saying, make sure you do your research on them. So that's why I want you to say, just so they can keep up as well. But continue, my fault.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, we talked about him too. But yeah, look up the minister, right? He lead the Nation of Islam right now, and probably one of the last big black leaders we got. Like he was around during Martin Luther King, during Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? He was there through it all. But yeah. So Professor Griff got on there, and he was like, because Professor Griff ended up getting blackballed. They actually kind of blackballed him out of Public Enemy a little bit because they were really like trying to like cancel him, right? You know, this is cancel culture back then. And he started researching who owns these record labels, right? And who is pushing out like this music, who owns the radio stations. He even went into the entertainment industry too, like movies and all that. And what he found was a lot of people that owned this were white and they were Jews. You know what I'm saying? That's just his observation. But the funny part is when he exposed the people, all he said was names. He didn't even say that they were Jewish or anything. He just said their names and he just got canceled, right? Like he was just done. Like hip hop just kind of just kicked him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was kind of left on his own. But yeah, we really got to understand that there's like an agenda. And also there's a book called I think like Hip Hop Decoded by the Black Dot. And one of the things he said in there was that, they take the worst of our culture and exploit it to a maximum potential, right? So think about that, like the things that we're seeing, right? And maybe some of us listen to it every once in a while, it's fine, but that's really the worst of our culture. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not cool abusing our women. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool doing drugs.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? It's not cool killing each other, right? And that's not what black people do every day. That's really not our culture, right? That's kind of things we've learned. You know what I'm saying? We learned that from them, right? Because I always say the only niggas I really know are white people, right? Because they made the nigga in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Like we not niggas, right? We kings and queens, right? Whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's one thing we got to look in is who owns the stuff now and why is it getting to the point to where it's at.
Yeah, and I wanted to shout out TDE. I'm not sure if y'all know who TDE is, but that's a record label owned by a black man. I believe his name is Top. But who's on that label? Absol, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, I believe.
Reason's on there too. You know Reason?
Reason, yes, Reason. Also,
Reason's nice.
Also,
also
a good one. Also QC. I want to shout out to QC. Also another label. They house a lot of our Atlanta rappers. If you don't know who QC, you definitely heard of them. Quality Control. They had.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. QC. I believe it's Coach P on there, and then Q. Who's on there, who are the label heads of that, two black men, also doing amazing jobs. Also, shout out to J. Cole and his label that he has, doing well with signing artists.
Hey, one person I forgot to mention, we both did, Joey Badass and Pro Era.
Shout out to Joey Badass.
I think they're real important. Yeah, Joey Badass been doing his thing.
Joey Badass. Also, shout out to Rick Ross, MMG. If y'all know what MMG is, y'all heard of him, of course. Rick Ross. Signed Meek Mill was under there, I believe Wale as well, and then Gunplay. But these are just some people. Also, Jay-Z, people have signed under him in the past. I don't know how it is now or how it works because I'm not in that man business. But I just want to shout out these prominent people who are, black leaders within our culture and putting our people on and taking care of our people. Especially on a label stand, on a label side, and giving these black creators free creativity to make what they want and talk about what they want. I think that's definitely important. J. Cole's thing is called Dreamville. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Dreamville.
sure y'all
Yeah.
already know that too. So don't even worry.
Hey, another one too, right? And I want to give a big shout out to Nipsey too, man. Rest in
Mhm.
peace. But Nipsey was really important for the culture, right? If you don't know, right, Nipsey started like the Marathon Clothing. He had that little like I don't know what you could call it, like a little strip mall. Like he had like a
Yeah,
bunch
he
of
had a strip
stores
mall. Yeah.
like on Crenshaw, right? And it was really important because he gave back to the community. Like if you talk to people around Crenshaw, like everybody loved Nipsey because he was, obviously he was a rapper, right? He was a public figure, but he stayed in the community. You know what I mean? He was investing into black tech, I believe, too. Like he had just a lot of things that he was doing, right? Just making a difference.
Facts. And to kind of piggyback off that, I want to kind of shine a light on a point that is kind of under that, which is how much, in hip hop and rap, we love to hear about the guns and the violence, but our artists have to portray that, and essentially they have to live that life. They have to live it, like I was saying earlier. But a lot of times we're taking out our own people out of a situation to help build us as a whole. So even though we can throw hate on, the newer generation of hip hop and rap, we have to recognize that these rappers and these artists are taking their immediate, unit and web of people they know and network, and taking them out of a situation they, would be in. So, we would see a little Dirk, instead of him riding with himself and probably one other person, there's probably 15 other dudes, and they might just be there for the look or whatever, but also they could be doing something else in that 24 hours,
Yeah,
something way
they
worse
could
in
have
that
been
24
hiring.
hours.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
And so now we see these artists putting people on, and we see people putting them onto business ventures and in entrepreneurship as well, because a lot of them taught that, if you everybody around me getting money, and
Mhm.
they're one of the reasons why, they kind of open that door for them. So I want to also highlight that too, man. The music that we're listening to, we have to recognize that how many people are being put on because of this one person. So we're definitely not downplaying nobody and nobody's music, because you are helping us get it out the hood, get folks out the hood and out the situation in order to build communities and create more ideas. But I just want to make sure that we keep that pathway open for everybody to understand.
Oh, facts. And something the Honorable Louis Farrakhan said, right? He said one song is worth 100 sermons, right? Think
Yeah,
about that. Think how powerful one song is, right?
thanks.
Think about how many people that can reach around the world. You know what I'm saying? So that's another important thing. Like whatever we do put out, right? Whatever we are gonna support, right? Like that that could make a huge difference for the good or the bad, right?
Don't let your foot off these folks' neck, man. We telling you now with some you probably already knew, man. These people who are creating these contracts for our young black brothers and our young black sisters. And again, because I want to highlight them too. There are some phenomenal female rappers out there, like Rhapsody. She does an amazing job.
Days
Quality,
low.
yeah, Days Loaf,
I like days low.
quality lyricist, man. And some of the bigger names like Megan Thee Stallion and people like that. But a lot of these label heads are taking advantage of our people, um, and so this new fight for independence and keeping your masters is something that, like, if you're a young entrepreneur, man, make sure that you keep all your intellectual property, all your IP,
Facts.
regardless of anything. Because we seen groups like De La Soul get taken advantage of, many rappers getting taken advantage of in
Right.
contracts because we're just signing whatever. The label heads, these white men are, giving our rappers contracts that we don't even understand or we can't read. So I want to make sure that we continue to support people who are independent. People like Chance the Rapper. His last album
Yep.
wasn't that great. I don't even remember what it was called. It was like a see-through DVD disc. I don't remember. But
Mm-hmm.
he is independent, sort of say. So also we need to support these type of rappers too, because these type of rappers are able to push the message that they want to push without any battery in their back from higher ups. Um,
Right. And that's
yeah.
important too, because if we ever do want to portray a message, you know what I'm saying? If we're, like I said, if we're independent, we could say whatever we want, right? And just have an ownership period. Like that's important because we talked about how hip hop started, right? We, we
Hmm.
we had the lyrics, right? We had the culture, but we weren't like we weren't managing it. We didn't have ownership. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And that's how we got to where we are now. But I like how you mentioned that there's a big push because there's a lot of rappers that are making it independent now, right? They're
Yes.
showing people that you can be independent. You
Yes.
can do this on your own. You don't gotta sign no slave record deal. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be back on the plantation, right? You don't want to have the slave master slave relationship.
Yeah. It's
You know what
literally
I'm saying?
called like in the music industry. Do you own your masters? Like,
Right.
are you the master of your own intellectual property and the words that are coming out of your mouth, or you're gonna let somebody else hold your masters? Not saying,
And your money, right? You feel
yeah,
me?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
Not
all
saying
that.
it's a bad thing, if you sign, or if signing is a bad thing, but I want people to understand the different dynamics on what's happening, and and why people have to move a certain way that they move these days compared to how old hip hop was when it was more free. Labels were still there, still taking money. Always, they've always been taking money from our
Yeah.
talent, but understand how it might have changed over the time where now they're putting these artists in 720 deals, 360 deals, and the artists are bringing a single to them to put on the radio, and it's a no. It's no. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear something else. This is not going to be your single. This can be put on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So I want also to highlight that as well.
Facts. All right, so the next segment we want to talk about, we kind of talked a little bit about it, but so even with hip hop, right? Like, now there's been the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it all, but something real positive I like is the entrepreneurship and even just rappers writing books.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we talked about Rick Ross, right? Rick Ross has lots of business ventures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially Wingstop. He's really known for like Wingstop and stuff like that. We talked about Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey did a lot. Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z's,
Jay
I
Z.
think he
Shout out to
billionaire.
shout out to Jay Z, man. He talked that talk on a couple of them songs. Meek Mill had a song called "What's Free," man. And if you want to hear
Oh yeah,
a billionaire and a exceptional rapper talk about boss talk, that's a song you got to go listen to that verse. And shout out to Jay Z,
right.
man. I think he just sold um his company, I believe, Title,
Yeah, he sold
to Square.
yeah, he owns like a small, I think he still owns a small percentage, but
Yeah.
yeah, Square owns, and what he originally bought it for, what he sold it for is crazy. I think it was around maybe 50 million at first.
Mm.
And he's selling that portion of it for like 250 or something crazy
Gee.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Gee.
business moves.
That's
Hey,
that's what we like to
also,
hear.
if you don't follow us on Instagram, right, we have a Jay-Z quote, and this is the song from Family Feud, and he was like, "What's better than one billionaire? Two,
Yeah.
especially if they're from the same hue as you." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
That was
he
on his
been dropping
444
gems.
album, no?
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yup.
Yeah.
Still, what was that song? Still a nigga or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Still
no, the story,
nigga.
the story of OJ, right?
OJ. Yep.
He was talking
That's,
about real estate. He was talking about getting artwork, right? He talking about generational wealth. Like this is all real powerful stuff. And
yeah.
also Master P. I know y'all heard about Master P. He started off with music, but look at him now. I feel like
Mhm.
he's more known as a businessman now than music.
His music, yeah.
Like No
He's
Limit
a music
was crazy,
mogul, so that's crazy.
right? Like
But
No Limit
then
was good, but
these
yeah.
people that we're talking about, Jay Z. Oh, we cannot forget Puff Daddy, man. Ciroc.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
the businesses that Puff Daddy has. But when we talk about, I'm just gonna go with Jay Z and Puff, man. Two figures in our community that we hold to a super high regard. But we see how it trickles down to the other people. I mean, to the younger artists and the newer artists that are coming in, and even us. Like, I didn't
Right.
sit and listen to Jay-Z albums all day. Like, I don't know every album front to back and every word to every song. No, but I know that he talks that talk for my community. So I
Mm-hmm.
listen. Like, when he's talking, I listen. Same as Puff or P. Diddy. I didn't go back and listen to Bad Boy, this and that. But currently, in the current situation, I see him in the mansion. I see him with the cars. I see him, with everything that you can possibly ask for, and he's still pushing that narrative of Black excellence. And like I was saying, we see this trickle down to artists, you know, one, they have to do other ventures other than rap and stuff like that. They don't have to necessarily, but to make more money and to capitalize on their opportunity of being an artist, you know, we see them going to other ventures. So we see the real estate come up, and I think we posted some on our IG, the little Bibby.
Oh yeah, how do we forget about that? Yo, Lil
Yeah, yeah.
Bibby and Lil Durk, right? How they had businesses, right? Lil Durk said he had like, what do you say? I forget the number, but he had a bunch of 18 wheelers, right? Them big semi trucks you see on the road, and
And you
he
can
got a
own those. You
trucking
don't have
company.
to sit there and drive them. You can own them
Yeah,
and
you can. Yeah.
make money that way.
You can literally rent them out. You know what I'm saying? Which is that's something I plan on doing in the future. I want to try that out.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. But yeah, and Lil Bibby too. Like he ended up kind of quitting rap, and he got into management. Like he was managing Juice World. You know what I'm saying? And but he was into stocks and real estate, right? He was talking
Mm-hmm.
about Vlad about that, and he did that young too. Like he's not too much older than us, so
I think we told y'all
yeah.
on the finance episode, man. Real estate is going crazy. Stock is going crazy right now.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
in entrepreneurship, man, and we know why these are going crazy because they're always going to be here and they're always going to exist. We create the culture. One, we are the culture, and we create everything around us. You know, for those people who love to talk about manifesting, that's a little manifestation for you.
Yeah,
But
you gotta control our cipher. You feel me?
Exactly. So
Right.
we see things like artists talking about real estate. I want to highlight DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club. He's super huge on real estate. I think he's finna do a seminar out here in Atlanta. I
Oh,
think
he is.
or something like that. I forgot
Yeah,
what it
because
was.
he was talking about he doing seminars and stuff
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and
So
trying to make them affordable too.
yeah, and trying to make them affordable, man. So these
Yep.
entertainers are getting into real estate for a reason, man. And I don't want to keep bringing up the black wealth, but this is something that we have to keep saying and keep highlighting because they're predicting it to be zero by 2050. I'll only be
Zero,
2052.
zero.
It'll be zero in 2050. So we have to
Crazy.
keep uh acknowledging these things. And that's another reason why me and Kenyatta made this podcast, because this is very important that everyone should know at every age. That's why we're talking about hip hop today, because hip hop is something that we can all connect on. Hip hop and rap is something that we all can connect on, matter if it's old hip hop or the new hip hop or old generation or the new generation. None of that matters, because I feel like the same message is still being pushed, probably at a quieter voice, but we're giving you the reasons why. We know label execs, white Jewish label execs, not trying to, you know, disrespect them or disregard them, of course, but they do control
Yeah,
our culture.
that's just the truth. You know what I'm
This
saying?
is just the truth. They do control
You
all
you can get
culture.
you can get mad.
They
We just bring you the
Yeah.
facts.
So we create it, but they control what comes out and what the world sees. So if the world sees us acting like an ass, everybody's gonna take us like we're fucking asses. My fault to curse, but on the next topic, if the world sees us degrading and disrespecting our women, what do you think is gonna what do you think is gonna happen?
Right? Like,
We don't care
you
about
know,
our
if
women. Black men don't
mhm,
care about their women. Black men disrespect their women. And of course, we know if we listen to things, vibrations, if we want to start getting into that side, vibrations and frequencies, we know we're on the wrong frequency musically.
oh yeah, this is real scientific,
I, I ain't even want
right?
to get into this, but we know we're on the wrong frequency, you know,
Right,
musically and the vibrations. But imagine, you know, just imagine, you know, hearing, you know, somebody that we hold to a high standard call our black women bitches and hoes and fuck them and disrespect them and slap them and cheat on them and do this and I'm gonna
right,
fuck two bitches at the same time, all types of stuff.
right.
You
And
know,
even on the other end too, right? I know we mentioned Megan the Stallion, but now being a thought is cool. Like,
yeah,
you know
even
what I'm
that.
saying? Like we got some city girl
Yeah,
stuff going on, you know. So
and you know,
and imagine what the young sisters are looking up to.
yeah, but
You know what
I
I'm
just want
saying?
to stay
Like,
on. I just want to stay on that side first because we know how quiet and how silenced our female artists are in hip hop. That's kind of why I don't want to touch that, because now we have to realize also they have to go through the same thing. You're not
mhm.
getting any radio play. You're not getting any recognition if you're a female rapper. If you're not, you know, showing off your body, because we've seen the most talented female rappers, you know, there are, talk that talk and keep up with the lyricists around this world. Like I highlighted Rhapsody earlier,
Mm-hmm.
super, but she probably won't make it to the Megan Thee Stallion level, or somebody like that, or Nicki Minaj level, because she doesn't have the sex appeal, sort of say.
Right.
So
And
that's
also
another
too,
thing.
I think another person too, I know y'all remember Lauryn Hill, right? Lauryn Hill got blackballed because she refused to do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Really talented, right? But because she wouldn't show her body, because she wouldn't, kind of do the stuff that, where that's happening now, she kind of like they stopped messing with her after that,
yeah. So, and to kind of go back to what I was saying, so if we hear, our prominent male rappers talk about that, of course it's just entertainment, and we gotta, you know, separate it. But what about those who don't know how to separate it? We know those people. We know those people who cannot separate entertainment from real life, and they listen to that. Every song is like that, disrespecting us as a whole. If you're not disrespecting the woman, or the black woman, you disrespecting your brother. But there's no disrespect to the other side when they really disrespect us. I ain't never
Mm-hmm.
heard no song really banging on the other side. And if you don't know what the other side is, do your research. But the other side. Do your research,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm gonna reference the other side a lot on this podcast, especially going forward. But you know, if you hear that every day on the radio, how most of us as children got our music, and then you pair that with what the women artists have to do to get on or get recognition, it starts to create a tornado that is going to be a nasty path. It's going to be that same
Right.
rabbit hole that we've been in for a while now, especially with hip hop and rap. Simple.
Oh, for real. And like we said this a bunch of times, but if now we understand how important hip hop is to our culture, right, and how kind of that even shapes culture, it's
It's
we
literally everywhere. There's Asians
right,
braiding their hair right now. There's, and not,
right,
not trying to,
making music. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
not
Like
trying to
everybody's
hold
influenced by hip
everything
hop.
to us, but I seen some on Twitter. It was an Asian dude. He sounded like Lloyd. I said, "What's going on?" And huh?
Right.
And then I seen another thing, a couple years ago, and I don't want to. Prayers for the Asian community as well. I want to make sure I say that, because I know they're going through some stuff right now in their community, especially with violence and anti-Asian Asian American stuff that's happening. I want to make sure I say that. But
Hey,
uh,
can I say my part on that real quick?
you can say it,
Because
man.
I'm be honest with you, when them Asians come out and beat the fuck out of black women in their nail shops, where was the
That's
violence
very
on black
true.
women?
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So so
very
so so,
true.
so that
That I
that's
wasn't
another
gonna.
thing.
Hey, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say, but some folks died, but I gotta say that. But I know on the other on the flip hand of that, they not the friendliest, and they damn near up there with the other
facts.
side
And
too.
and, it, and
So
it's not even an Asian thing. Like we do this stuff to each other.
yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
it's not just the Asian thing as well, but also
Yeah.
some Asian cultures, they say that b-boying and break dancing is their culture. I've seen a documentary on that, and I said, there's no way they can be serious right now.
Nah,
There's no way. So
I've seen them too. Some of them are pretty good, but yeah,
no, yeah, they be fine. The
they try
Jabberwockies,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Jabberwockies, okay,
America's Best Dance Crew, yup. But they try to be
hey,
a
they
lot of
was
people be
fine,
on some.
but
Yeah.
they everybody's taking a piece of all culture
Mm-hmm.
except for the degrading stuff. They taking everything except what we highlight the most.
Right.
And why is that? We know why. Because nobody really wants that. Nobody wants to be hitting on their
Mm-hmm.
women. They do it. They do it on that side, and the other side, they do it, but they don't promote it. And not saying it all needs to be cut out. It all needs to stop, of course.
Yeah.
But for us, it's put on a silver platter, and we're basically telling the world, hey, look at all the bullshit that we do. And the world is saying, okay, we fuck with some of the shit that y'all doing. We rock with some of the stuff. We like y'all talking about violence, even though we won't necessarily be arrested for it. You could talk about the weed, even though we won't be arrested for the weed.
Right. Well, we'll buy it off. You can get in trouble
Yeah,
for selling it.
yeah,
So, you know
yeah.
what I'm
You could talk about this and that, and even if we do the same acts that you do, you will be in prison more than us, and we'll get away with a lot of the stuff we do. So we can rap it for real. We can sing it for
Right.
real. Because when we start getting into white crime, white collar crime, blue collar crime, those people don't look like us, and those people are taking millions of dollars.
Facts.
They not just robbing a corner store. They
Wow.
robbing people for real.
Millions, right?
Yeah.
Just embezzlement, all that.
Sorry
So,
if I be going on my little rants, man. I
you good?
stuff
You
like
good?
with hip hop and entertainment, man. It just and probably next week we'll talk about sports or something, or even the film industry and how that is probably next week. But
For sure.
this
Also,
stuff get me hyped up,
one
man.
thing for real. Also, one thing I wanted to say, right? You know, since a lot of this we're talking about culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta start keeping our culture sacred, right? Because you went into how everybody's practicing our culture, and then as years go on, we start getting, oh, we invented this when really it was a black person, right? Or oh, we started doing this. You know what I'm saying? And it was really ours. But it's
And we
like, when do we start keeping our culture sacred? Like, when do we start respecting our own culture? Because we don't even respect our culture enough to look at it as a sacred thing. Like, so some other people's cultures, you know what I'm saying, especially like, some of the Chinese and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, their stuff is really like sacred, and not everybody really gets to practice it, right? There's some things they won't even really tell you or even want to deal with you with, you know what I'm saying? Because they're like, oh no, that's for us.
Yeah, that's
You know
for
what I'm
us.
saying? But
Exactly.
we let everybody practice our culture, and we even let people start getting into it where they start owning like hip hop, like what the whole episode's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we created that. That's our culture. But now we got other people saying, oh, they did this, they did that, and they're owning it. Like, how does that work? You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and mind you, the war on drugs, we talked about it earlier too. The war on drugs was to get to our black men, to get to us.
Oh, separate the
So
black from the white.
nonviolent
Yep.
crimes like selling weed, petty crimes like selling weed could get you 15 years. But
Right. And
now Joe down the block is making a whole business off of it.
the whole dispensaries now,
A whole dispensary off
and
of it, getting an LLC,
also,
making 10K a week. But you the
yeah.
weed man, and you scared to even go out your house, and you only making 700 a week. Not trying to disrespect nobody. I don't know how y'all numbers work. My bad. Chill on me. I'm just saying. But we gotta look at the other side and how that works too. So the U.S. is, I think, number one for most incarcerations, and then we make
Mhm.
up most of those incarcerations.
All right, it's a business, right? Prison's a business, man.
Come on now, like
Right? They they,
how
they they
are
they didn't get rid of slavery. You're legally a slave under the 13th Amendment if you are in prison.
yes, sir. And I think go watch that documentary on Netflix. What was it called? It was something 13th.
13th. I haven't.
Yeah,
I see. That's something I gotta watch. But yeah, they talk about the
yeah.
13th Amendment like that.
Go watch that, man. So when we create stuff like this podcast, for example, man, it's because we want to protect the culture. There's people in this entertainment industry. If y'all ever heard of Clubhouse, I don't know if you guys heard of Clubhouse, but literally it's just the app where people get to talk. The website Clubhouse wasn't getting no push, no nothing. No, it wasn't getting no traction in this world. Nothing. They start marketing to our people because they understand that we push the culture. We push everything here. Okay. I posted some on one of my other IGs. And it was KRS1 basically saying that black people, we control culture and we control these industries because
Right.
of what we deem cool and what we deem acceptable. So we see a company like Clubhouse where they start off with zilch. They start off with 27 million in of investors, and they try to push it. Doesn't work. Over quarantine, they market it to black people. They get a couple of our rappers and our artists to market it. We see people like Joe Budden. Shout out to Joe Budden. He's great for the culture right now. He talks about it. But we see people like Joe Budden. We see people like Meek Mill, even my favorite rapper. We see people like 21 Savage. All of them
Yep.
going on this platform. And this platform, they didn't give us any equity. They didn't give us any money into it. Master P
Mm.
talked about this as well, how Clubhouse did the black community, got millions of viewers and millions of users, and now they were at a $1 billion evaluation the other day, and black
Yeah,
people,
they made
we
crazy
made
money
it
off.
to a billion evaluation, $1 billion evaluation. We don't have anything in there, nothing, zilch,
Right. And
zilch.
this even goes to like even some of the clothing brands too. You know, like even Nike. Like I have some Nike, right? Whatever.
Shout out
But
to Sample IND, a black company,
hey, oh
man.
yeah, you got
Started
another black
about
business owner.
by Bullet RC and Tony D 2 Wild, man. They review shoes and stuff like that, but they got their own little brand. Shout out to them, man. I was on them early.
But, I'm gonna have to give me some. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, even brands like that, like we go so hard for brands, we go so hard for them, but they're not even giving back to the black community. And they might even put out a Black History Month sneaker, right? Or they might be on some
Nike,
fake, yeah, they might be on some fake Black Lives Matter. But I don't see them
all
going
of
to
them.
the
I
yeah,
don't
right.
know.
I don't
Y'all
see,
remember that Blackout Tuesday they try to do? Come on now, where them companies at now?
yeah.
Where they
Even
at?
with even with Kaepernick, right? Like they gave Kaepernick some little thing, right? Which was cool, but that was like they tried to make it like this is for black people, but they could have been doing that all along. So it was really just a marketing thing for them because they knew people was following Kaepernick, right? You know what I'm saying? But they're not going into the hood and trying to like help things. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to like, like they're not really giving back, right?
Yeah, and understand how this works, man. Because even though we done started at the hip hop and it dropped down into culture, and now it's dropping down into economics, man. Understand how our black dollars move and how our black dollars work, because it's not like our black dollars are they're not staying within our community. No, our black dollars are literally billions are used to market to get our dollars. That's how much they bank on making our money.
Right. And then
They
our
use
dollar
billions of
only,
dollars to
yeah,
market to us. So they'll give a Lil Wayne 5-10 million to use his song 100 times in order to get us to pay, because we relate to Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne, he's the godfather of hip hop, one of the heads, one of the pillars, maybe, just depending on how you see fit.
yeah, for the new school, yeah.
Yeah, for how you see fit. But they use our culture to market to us. They use billions of dollars to market to us to get those dollars that we make. And I don't know if y'all seen the average of the household, how much wealth is in the black household compared to the white household. We had posted on the
Yeah,
IG.
we just posted that, right?
Yeah,
It's a lot to a little.
yeah, yeah.
you know?
It's a lot to a very little. We might as well all be in here working minimum wage jobs. That shit crazy, bro. Come on. And
Right.
if you see stuff like that and that don't get you some type of build up and riled up, not to do no violent stuff, but to just get on your grind, bro. Come on. That's all. That's
Right.
literally it, bro. Think
It's all
about your
about putting
people.
our energy to the right direction, right? You know what I'm
Those
saying?
three pillars that we talked about in our last episode, our finance episode.
Yeah, real estate, stock market participation, and investing, entrepreneurship.
Facts.
Those are real important.
So
All right, so I think we should try to kind of close this out on like a positive note, right?
yes,
So
sir.
I got
All
some
positive, man. I love y'all. I love all my black people out there.
for real, man. Hey, we gonna get through this, right? We in bad shape right now, but I see a big
We
shift, right?
doing better, man. We
And
doing
we
we doing better, man. For real.
right, and we've talked about this because like there's so many black platforms that are preaching about financial literacy more than when I grew up seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was growing up, I didn't see that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But and obviously like technology, we can reach way more people than we ever had before. But yeah, I feel like the culture is definitely shifting. We're starting to get on ownership, right? It's cool to own a business now if you haven't peaked. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's cool, man.
it's cool to
What
get
they
into
call
that
it,
stuff, right?
LLC Twitter, man. It's cool. That's the new cool thing to do. LLC Twitter,
Right.
man.
It's
Go ahead and get y'all an LLC.
right. It's cool, right? And if you do get an LLC, like make sure it's for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Limited
make sure you
liability
understand.
corporation to
Make
protect
sure
your
you
assets.
understand.
Don't just get one,
Yeah,
right?
you don't know
But
what an LLC is, man. You don't know the difference. LLC, S corp, man. It's cool. Just do your look. Do your research.
yeah, always do your research. Always.
Do your
But
research,
yeah,
man.
I got some books here, right? So I got the Wu Tang manual. You know what I'm saying? If y'all like Wu Tang, if y'all want to know about Wu Tang, get this, right? A lot of pictures in this book. You feel me? What's another book I got? This book changed my life right here, The Tao of Wu, right? This is about like RZA's life, kind of how the Wu Tang got started, but he has so many quotes about like chess and life and just Buddhism, Taoism. Like this book really got me into the teachings, by the way, because RZA was a 5%er, right? Peace to all the gods on earth, but he was a 5%er, and he got in like supreme mathematics. And again, if you know what today's mathematics is, put that in the comments. But yeah, that book really changed my life. Another one, right? I just got this one, Sweat the Technique by Rakim. That's somebody we didn't talk about. Rakim was going crazy, especially when hip hop like
Super
started.
crazy.
Especially for the 5%ers, right? You know, Rakim is one of the godfathers of hip hop. But you got any
Yeah, man. So
books you want to talk about?
I wanted just to highlight this book, man. I read this last semester for my. I'm in graduate school. If y'all don't know, man, whatever. I'm trying to help my community out. I'm getting these resources so other people don't have to, and they don't have to go this far and spend as much money as I did. But I read this book last semester called "How to Be an Anti-Racist" by Ibram X. Kendi. Awesome book, especially if you're just trying to understand something. It's not super heavy with information, but the information is very key, and it talks about our community and how where racism lives and where it resides within our society and how to spot it out. So this is a great book, man. Go check it out. I'm pretty sure it's only like $13 on Amazon. You probably can find it for free somewhere. I don't care where you get it from, but make sure you pick up a book this week. Make sure you learn something this week, man. And another episode down. I'm happy.
Right. Also, tell us what you're reading in the comments, right? Because maybe y'all gonna put
and
us
are you
on to some
reading
books,
anything?
right? Yeah, right. Start reading, right? You know, reading is exercise for the brain. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to train your brain. Feel me? You want to
And you
start
ain't even gotta
learning
be
new
reading nothing.
information.
Are you searching up something? What you researching? How you gonna get this money, bro?
Right.
Be honest with me. How you gonna get this money, bro? Nobody wanna be broke. Stop playing with
Right.
me.
What you gonna, create that generational wealth, right?
Stop playing with me, bro. Go
How
get you
you
some
gonna
money. Go get
how
you a
you gonna
hell.
do it?
Go figure out how you can get a Hellcat, bro. I know that's what you want. I know you want the Hellcat. Go figure out how you gonna get that Hellcat, man. Go make some money, man. Go invest. Go figure out how the real estate work. If you not finna go to college and you know that's not a option for you, you don't want to be spending money, bro. Go invest in some knowledge. People got courses these days. We giving you people like Earn Your Leisure, DJ
Right.
Envy.
Lot of free game out here
These
too.
people are
Right.
giving free game on YouTube that you could just sit down and write, bro. If you ain't on that
Right.
level yet, man, do something to get some money, man. Get a side hustle like we was talking about last episode. Get to it, bro.
Man, we come from a culture of hustlers. You know what I'm saying?
Get
Like
to it.
for real. Black people can do anything, man.
Facts.
Facts. All right, so that's another good episode,
Go ahead, close this one out,
Also,
man.
also remember, like, comment, subscribe.
Yes,
You
sir.
feel me?
Engage with us on the IG page too.
Yeah, we're really trying to build our IG page. You know, we got like a lot of interactive stuff going on. Like, and if you comment, like, we gonna respond. Like, we love, like, as you can see, we love to talk. So anything you want to comment, anything you want to build on, man, we'll build with you in the comments, right? We love doing that stuff.
Facts.
All right, peace.
Peace out.